Are you using Border 1px Red to debug your CSS? And debugging CSS is a task for you. If the answer is yes, then this video is for you. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Neha. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use Chrome DevTools to understand your CSS better and to debug it easily. For this, I'm going to use Chrome browser and DevTools provided by Chrome and few website examples. So let's get started. So the first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable DevTools. For that I will be doing right click and inspect. The moment I will do the inspect, the DevTools will get opened. There would be a panel divided into two parts, left and right. On the left side you have your DOM and on the right side you have styles implemented to those HTML. Now the moment you are going to select any of the HTML tag, the corresponding styles will be get enabled by default in the styles. So if I will move from the section to H2, you will see this style tab is getting updated. What it is doing is it is highlighting the styles which are getting implemented on these tags. Now the first thing what I want you to notice is with this in the style panel, on the extreme right side you have style.css and some numeric value. What exactly is this? This is basically the file name and the line number from where this style is coming. So this content has h4 h2. This is coming from style.css and the line number is 114. But why it is important? It is important because it helps developers to debug easily. Right now we have one CSS file, but if you have multiple CSS file and your CSS is spread across multiple files, then this feature is going to help you to debug easily and understand that from exactly where which style is coming, and as well as it is also guiding you the line number. So right now if I'm going to click on this, what will happen is I will be end up in that style.css and that particular line number. Now as a developer, all you need to do is just go to this particular file at this particular file name, line number, and find and do the editing of your CSS. So very easy, very helpful for developers. Now the next thing I want you to see is this user agent style sheet. So what this is, in your HTML CSS, when your HTML is getting rendered on the browser, your browser applies some default style to those tags. These are those styling part, and these such default properties, CSS properties, are get labeled by user agent style sheet. Why? The reason is, as a developer, when you are working on a project, if you will see these styles are coming and you wanted to edit those, you will definitely go and try to find out in your CSS where these properties are written. But these are coming from your browser. So that is why you won't be able to find them in your CSS. And that is the most frustrating thing. So that's why Chrome team label such default properties by user agent style sheet, so that we developers know that this is the area which is not in control of the developers. And any style sheet apart from that will be definitely gonna get labeled by the file name from where it is coming by the developer. So that is why it is very important feature, and these two things help us to debug easily. So next time when you find any issue, instead of copying it and going and searching in your CSS file, what you can do is you can just notice the file line number from here and the file name and just directly go there and do the editing. Okay, now we will move to the next part. In here, let me refresh again. If you will see, when you are hovering on this style, you will see a checkbox is coming. But when you go to the user agent, no checkbox is coming. Why? The reason is you cannot edit these property user agent style sheet in the browser, in the DevTool. But you can edit and play with these properties written by the developer in the DevTool itself. So I can do this check, uncheck, but I cannot do all this with the user agent style sheet. The only way to override it, the only way to change it is to write my own CSS. So as a developer, if I want the font size of H2 should not be 1.5 em but should be something else, what I have to do is I have to write by myself. So I will say 24px, and now if you will see, this got strikeout. Now what is this strikeout? We are gonna talk about that next. Whenever you are writing the CSS, what happens is, if your CSS is getting overridden with some other style, that get strike off. So here if you will see, margin bottom 12px is getting strike off. Why? Because this particular property is getting overridden. So this strike off means getting overridden. Now by whom? How we will get to know? The final property which is getting implemented will always be on the top of your dev tool. So here what is happening is, this margin bottom 12px is getting overridden by margin bottom 8px. And trust me, most of your CSS issues are related to this, that a particular style is not getting implemented. So how to know that? The easiest way is to come to your DevTools and see, like for example, I am trying to debug that why margin bottom 12px is not coming. And you can see the dev tool is definitely telling you, my friend, it is strike off. It means it is getting overridden. But overridden by whom? Look at the top. Overridden by this. And if you get confused, all you need to do is the non-strike property margin bottom, which is non-strike, I will just click on the checkbox and you will see that it became strike off, because now no longer it is enabled, and the previous strike off got enabled. So if you will see now, the previous one, margin bottom 12px, now this is no longer strike off. It means that this property was getting overridden by the content has h4. Now if you will see, the 12px is getting strike off yet. This is just a bug or glitch. If you will see, I will just write it again and it is gone. So don't worry about that. So strike off means it is getting overridden, but do notice if it is checked or unchecked. Uncheck and strike off means that uncheck means the style is not there and the style is not enabled at all, and then you will see the margin bottom which got not strike off. It means now this is getting implemented. Okay, let me refresh again and let me show you what I was doing with user agent style sheet. So what I did is, I want the font size to be 24px. So the moment I will do that, you will see that font size is getting strike off, which means this particular font size 1.5 em is getting overridden. Overridden by whom? Overridden by the top one. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna look that from where this font size is getting implemented. Oh, this is implemented here. And just to be cross check, what I will do is, I will uncheck this to see if the strike off is getting disabled from here. So if you will see, uncheck, check, strike off is coming. Okay, so this is how you see that which style is getting overridden and how to debug that. Strike off means getting overridden. Okay, so now we will move to the next part. In the next part, what I'm going to show you, that if by mistake you do some typo, DevTool is going to tell you that you are doing a mistake. So let me show you an example. Let me just do, instead of writing for example, let me write, yeah, I'm just trying to do a typo and DevTool is not letting me do that. Okay, and I will do anything. Now you will see, because neither this value nor this property is valid, you will see this yellow icon is coming, and when you hover on that, it should tell you unknown property name. So by default, by mistake, if you are doing such mistake, the DevTool is gonna give you yellow icon, which means that there is some mistake. Right now it is saying unknown property name, definitely. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna say okay, background color, but still it is giving me this yellow icon. Now when we will hover on it, just give it a few seconds, yeah, invalid property value. So what it is saying is, I don't understand this value, what this is, what color is this. and then you can pass the valid one. So devtool actually helps you to avoid such mistake. So when you have written CSS, come back and see, is there any yellow icon is coming? If yes, then is it a property name issue? Is it a property value issue? And try to fix that. Very important. Okay, let me refresh it again. Now the next thing I want you to show is a very beautiful feature of devtool, which is this flex. So with flex and grid, you get this small cheat sheet. What this cheat sheet is? This cheat sheet is actually telling us that right now when you are saying display flex, the flex direction is row, flex wrap is no wrap, aligned content is normal, justify content is space between, align items is normal. This actually helps us to understand with the visual representation that what is happening. For example, row means this first one, and if this down arrow means column. So the moment I click on it, you will see that now the column is coming here. So this actually helps us to debug on the browser or by the help of the devtool. And here we have space between. If I will just change it, right now what is happening is we don't have much space, so that's why this space between is the only property which is getting implemented. So this is pretty useful. Another very beautiful thing I wanted to show you of this is, if you will look at the left panel of HTML, you will see a pill which is saying flex. If you will click on this, what will happen? It will highlight on the browser that where this flex is getting is implemented and how it is looking. Right now, let me do one change. Yeah. So you can see a border is coming. So if I will click here, again, it will go away. And this is how it highlight. And let's see, here also we have on header flex. So I will click on it and you can see that it is highlighting your flex. So you can see visually on browser how flex is looking. We have a row, we have one item here, logo, one on right side, and then we have space between them. A very beautiful representation of flex, very helpful when we are debugging, especially when you are working with flex or grid. Same we have with the grid also. So let me just disable this. Let me go here, and if I will click here, you can see it is also showing you how your grid is coming on the browser. And you can see that how easy it is now to visually see that how your grid is coming. Very easy. And if we will go to the devtool, here, same just like your flex, we again have a cheat sheet here. Very easy to debug and play around here. So very, very important feature. Okay, now let's talk about the next step, which is shorthand property. When you are working with CSS and with the experienced developers, you will see that they use a lot of shorthand properties. And a lot of time you get confused when you are debugging or reading such CSS that which property is what. So for example, if I will talk about this margin 0 auto, if you are someone who doesn't understand shorthand property, for you it would be very hard to understand that what is margin top, what is margin left. So what devtool does is it actually I just lost it. Wait, here. So it actually give you this triangle icon, and when you click on it, it will show you all the shorthand properties in a proper form. So now we can see margin top is 0, margin right is auto, margin bottom is 0, margin left is auto. So this is how devtool helps you to understand the shorthand properties better. Same if you will see here also a triangle is coming. When you click on this, you can see this gap is a shorthand property of row gap and column gap, and it is 30px 30px. So this is how devtools actually help us to understand the shorthand properties very well. Okay, so now let's move to the next thing. Let me refresh it again. And now what I'm gonna show you is this beautiful feature. So here when you see that filter hover class, the first thing is hover. What this hover is, we do have a lot of interactive styling part also, like hover, active, target, visited, focus. So if you wanted to see that on hover what style is getting implemented, we are gonna use this. So let me see if I have something on hover styling. I don't think so I have. Let me see if I have here. Yeah, here I have a hover style. If you will see, when you hover, the color is getting changed. So let's debug this. So this is your A tag, and now what I have to do is I will click on hover and I will click on hover. So now what is happening is, actually I did one thing wrong. Let me just go back, refresh it. Yeah, again click on here. So this is your A tag, and these are the styles getting implemented. And now what, oh, what happened? I don't know. So I think this is the one. Yeah, I will click on hover. Now you will see the hover style is coming. Let me refresh it again so that you can see it better. So you can see this is the button. This is the button which is getting implemented. And now what I want, that when I hover on it, what style is coming here. So all I need to do is, I just need to select this checkbox, and the moment we are gonna select this checkbox, you will see the hover style is coming. Now you can see on hover, text decoration is none, background is changing, and color is white. Now I want to change this to some other color, so I can just play around here. And this is done. Just like hover, we have other focus element states. So instead of pulling your hair that how shall I do this interactive CSS debugging, these are the options provided by devtools to you to debug. Okay, so a pretty good one. Now the next one what I wanted to show you is this class. This class is a very I would say very useful feature. So when you are debugging your CSS, there are times when you will see the multiple CSS classes are getting implemented, and what you want to do is you want to debug it better. So what happen is, the moment you will select this .cls class, all the classes which are getting added on this HTML element will come here, and now you can disable them one by one to see that which style, which class is holding which style. So sometimes if you just wanted to see that if I will delete this particular class, what would be the impact? This is how you can check that. And in addition to this, if you wanted to add a new class like test Neha, let me just add my name, you will see that that class is getting added, test Neha. It is coming here, you can see. Okay, so very beautiful, very useful feature of DevTool, where you want to optimize your CSS classes, where you want to delete your CSS classes, or you want to see that what are the styles are getting by which class. This is gonna help you a lot. Okay, now the thing next is this plus sign. What it does is, whatever the element you have focused on, the moment you click that plus sign, it is gonna write that whole CSS selector for you, and then you can write your own CSS on this, and then you can just copy and use it in your CSS file. Again, pretty useful and important feature. Now let's talk about this filter. This filter is basically for you to search whatever you want to search here. You can just search, and those all properties will come here. Okay, important one. Now let's talk about another important thing, and this is the one. So what I did is, how I end up here, let me again show you. Right click DevTools, sorry, this is how you were, this was our view. Now on the extreme right side, you will see this show computed style sidebar. So if you will click, your computed style bar will come, or what you can do is you can just click on the computed. So both are the same thing. Now what this is on the top, this is the box model. If you doesn't know about box model, I have already created a file for this, so you can check that. What I'm gonna show you is the bottom place. This is the summary of all the styles which are getting implemented on your element. So right now on this div, all these styles are getting implemented. The one which are faded like height, these are the dynamic values. The dynamic runtime, any value like width, height or anything is getting implemented, that is highlighted by the faded one, the pale color. So if you will see, the color of height is different as compared to the rest of the properties. And the rest of the properties are the direct properties which are getting implemented to this particular div. So if you wanted to debug that which all properties are getting implemented to your particular element, all you need to do is just come to the computed and just see that these are all the properties which are getting implemented to it. And when you expand this, you will end up by seeing same thing, CSS file name and the CSS file number, that on which line this particular style is coming. So again, very helpful in debugging. Now the next thing is related to this. I want to show you the grouping means that it is gonna group all the properties in their respective behavior. Like for layout, what all properties are there, these are the properties. For text, what all properties are there here. Appearance, these are the one. Others, these are the one. So if you are gonna debug for example a text related CSS issue, all you need to see is only these one. Now let's talk about what is this show all. Show all means is all the CSS property which are indirectly getting implemented to it because of the inheritance, those are coming. So if you will see, these are the all properties coming to this particular element, but these are not directly targeting it. So that's why these are in the faded one. So we are just concerned about this grouping one. And just like in the previous I told you, search, you have the same search here also. So if I wanted to search for float, if I wanted to search for height, all you need to do is this search you can use. Okay, now the two last thing which I wanted to show you. The one thing is related to, let me just select something. Let me select this. Okay, so devtool also help you to guide the accessibility. So when you click on this color, what will happen is it will give you the contrast ratio and it will tell you that which accessibility it is passing. So it is passing AA. How I know? Because of this green mark. The triple A is failing. How I know? Because of this. A very useful feature for the accessibility purpose. Okay, now the last thing which I wanted to show you is just right click here, go to more tools, go to CSS overview and then capture overview. Now what it is doing is it is giving you the overview or the summary of all the CSS getting used. How many elements, how many external sheet, how many selectors are there, colors, text colors, contrast issues, border color, font family, font sizes we are using, everything is there. And then you also have the unused declaration. If you wanted to delete that, you can just go there and delete those. Okay, and you have media queries also, that which media queries are getting used. Cool. I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you learned how to debug your CSS, how to use your devtool better when it comes to the style sheet. If you find this video helpful, please share with your friends in your network, and in comment please let me know one CSS tip which is your favorite. Thank you.